Hello and welcome to HOTFIX. So today, Mr. Kirioth, we're going to talk about the War Z.
Oh, my favourite game of 2012.
Game of the year. Game of the year.
So, yeah, well, the War Z, it
Fuck
came
me.
out.
Don't, but you know what I'm saying.
It came out on December 17th, so on 2 days ago.
Yes.
And they're on Steam. They're on Steam now, which is hilarious. And they had a store page. And the store page promised many things. It promised many, many things. Now, when the game came onto Steam, the store page made absolutely no mention of the game being in beta. It made no mention of it lacking features. In fact, the features under about the game, it claims a huge persistent world. The War Z is an open world game. Each world has areas between 100 to 400 square kilometres. That's wrong. There's only one map, and it's 72 square kilometres, so that's a bad start. They said, play with friends, hundreds of servers to play on, with random capitalisation, because they can't speak English, and you can also rent and create public or private servers. There are no private servers in the game. No classes, no levels, no caps. Create your own survival campaign, gain experience points, and spend it to learn dozen of available skills. That's bad English, and there are no skills currently in the game. The key features: 2 modes of play, normal and hardcore. There's no hardcore mode in the game. Up to 100 players per game server. The max number of players on the game is 50 per server. And again, under key features, dedicated public servers as well as private servers. And again, there are no private servers. So that's quite a bad store page. Because it's advertising a load of stuff that is not actually there. So that's a bad start. However, they were pulled up on this. I believe it was in fact Total Biscuit. He did a bit of a video on it, and he said they seem to be lacking a few of the features they're advertising.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was all over Reddit anyway before the video, but still, it would have rammed home the fact of it, yeah.
And then they edited the store page. They have edited the store page, so it's slightly more accurate. It still says a huge persistent world, and it says our first map, Colorado. So they're now saying there is only one map, but it does say over 100 square kilometres in size, which is still wrong, because it's still 72 square kilometres, which is not over 100. I mean, that's not even... You don't even have to be good at maths for that. There's no mention of skills. There's no mention of... soon you will be able to create public or private servers. So soon, that'll happen soon. TM, soon. And so they changed it because they received complaints, funnily enough.
What a shock.
People sort of bought it and then said, well, I bought this on the understanding that the things that you claimed were in the game would actually be in the game, and they weren't. And so they were forced to change it. And indeed, Mr. Sergey Titov, Sergey Titov? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I know it's Sergey, but beyond that...
Of Big Rigs fame.
Yes, who also was the executive producer of Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, 18 Wheels of Thunder, which is widely recognised to be the worst game ever made in the history of gaming, by far. It was so terrible. It's almost it'd be depressing if it wasn't so funny. And hilariously, as a video that, well, in fact, if you look for any video for Big Rigs, invariably the game will crash. Hilariously, the EXE for Big Rigs is carz.exe, so that's like a fantastic
awesome link. What the hell?
And I mean, that was 2003 that came out, so Jesus Christ, he likes the letter Z, and there's no cars in the game, it's all trucks. So how that works, I don't know. But yeah, he GameSpy did an interview with him, sir. They did an interview, and they said, there seem to be some issues here. You seem to have advertised things that, didn't appear in the game. Would you like to explain yourself? And Sergey, well, he did post a correction and an apology. And I say apology whilst meaning non-apology, because it's not a fucking apology in any way, shape or form. What he said was that they've taken steps to correct the features, and the format information presented on our Steam store page in a way so it provides more clear information about game features that are present in the Foundation release and what to expect in the coming weeks. We also want to extend our apologies to all players who misread information about game features.
Okay, so let's just go back to this. Misread information about game features. When it says play two modes of play, normal and hardcore, when there is no hardcore mode available. Yep. What have I misread there? Hang on, let me read it again. Maybe I misread it, was Kira. 2 modes of play, normal and hardcore. There is no hardcore mode, so in the game.
No, you could argue that in fact...
Here's another one. Up to 100 players per game server. In fact, it's only 50, eh? Maybe... Oh my god.
And there's also the maps as well. You know, I'm sorry, this is just so funny. Misread. They haven't misread anything. Learn.
The guy's an asshole.
Doesn't have skills.
Honestly,
there's no
fuck him.
No skills.
This is getting childish quick, but whatever. That game, when I played the War Z, I was not impressed. You've seen my video. Should you buy the War Z? No. This was an earlier HOTFIX video. I think it was one of the first HOTFIX videos, actually. And it was just horrendous. Now, I've watched Total Biscuit's video, and that just shows you again how horrendous it is. You know, I think it's like 40-odd minutes of just collapse. Absolute massive collapse. Now, from what I remember when I played the game, I shot somebody like 5 times with a shotgun at close range. They did not die, which is quite strange. Zombies would kill you from nowhere. Maybe that's a feature, Mr. Kirioth. I don't know. Stealth zombie.
It's not listed as a feature, but then again, the features that are listed aren't really reliable anyway. So.
I might have misread it, but I fucking misread it, bloke.
The terrible thing as well is that it's not just that. He said, I'm sure there'll be people who are looking to small details, just remember that bit, and will say, no, I was misled. Where in fact, they imagined something to themselves without checking details first. Fuck off. Just
when they don't even provide details anyway.
I mean, the only details they provide were on the store page, and they wrote the fucking store page. You're not imagining something if you read what they've written. Holy shit! I can't even. It's just terrible. He's got such a fucking cavalier attitude towards everything, and I mean, even in the GameSpy interview, I mean, this is a perfect example. Let's be frank, when you read up to 100 players, what does it mean to you personally? I mean, for me, it doesn't mean that I will play with 99 other players, really. And yes, the game supports 100 players. Heck, it supports actually over 400 players per server as of today. Do we have servers launched with this number of slots? No, we don't. Well, don't fucking say that that's what's in the game then, you twat! Holy shit! And that... Oh my god.
It's so bad. It's
terrible.
Why is it on Steam? Now, this is even worse. It's like, why is this game, whatever quality control system Steam has in place, why the hell have they allowed this game on Steam? Yeah. If I was working at Steam on selling digital computer games, right, I would know about computer games. It would be within my interest to know what is going on in the world of PC computer games, yeah? So I would know the War Z is a bag of shit, right? And when it got whatever company they used to approach Steam with, I don't know how the process works, so this is a bit of speculation. I'm guessing that they turned up, here's a company, and they say, here you go, Steam, we'd like to put our game on your platform. We agree to this, that, blah, blah. They do the contracts, and that's fine, then they get it out there. Somebody must look over what's going on.
It needs to be changed, doesn't it? Because this is just fucking.
But you can be
horrendous.
dead cynical about it. Well, you can be really cynical and just say it's Steam are making money off this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why not just allow it?
That's the thing that concerns me, because it's like this is a really bad example of this happening. It could possibly be one of the worst examples, because it's not like the War Z has not had its share of controversy already. You know, it's not like it's an unknown. It's not like they've just turned up.
This is by far the... I mean, I know Steam's had problems in the past, but this is like by far the worst. I mean, this is just horrendous. This is horrendous on every single level.
And also, it's not just... I know Steam are making money as well, but the other thing as well is Steam have got a bit of a reputation for... They're supposed to be the best, the best for digital downloads. They're supposed to be the best provider. Now, being associated with War Z... actually makes me feel slightly less good about Steam just because of Sergey Titov's attitude. It is terrible. It is the worst attitude I've seen from any game dev, I think, ever. Again, going to the GameSpy interview, GameSpy says that the post that he made on the forum, where he said people were, imagining stuff and they weren't being misled. They misread the text. GameSpy says, this post doesn't address the fact that there were false claims made. Mr. Sergey says, I think there's a difference between false claims and perception of the text. What? What the fuck is that?
This guy is like a spiel merchant.
It's terrible.
The king of spiel.
He should have been a politician, not a game dev. I mean, what the hell is that? Perception of the text. Yeah, what I perceive here is that on the store page, it said normal and hardcore, but there was no hardcore. I mean, what... that is the perception, because it's also exactly what he wrote. I mean, for God's sake.
Fucking hell. You know what grinds me? It grinds my gears, bloke. To coin a phrase, is Steam has millions of users yet. Now, only a small fraction of those users are really going to be reading websites like Reddit, are going to be watching YouTube channels like us, are going to be reading all the major PC gaming news websites to know that that War Z is a terribly bad game in the first place. So that means this is again, it's just wild speculation. Let's say there are 80% of people who use Steam don't necessarily read into gaming news, yeah? They'd look at that and think, oh, this looks pretty good actually, because if you knew nothing about the game and had read the previous feature page on Steam, or even the current one, you'd think, this looks pretty good, actually. I think I'll give this a go. It's cheap. I think it's like €11.69, or about £10, something like that. Yeah. It's really cheap. So...
And they're going to get shafted.
Why not give it a punt? Why not give it a punt? I'd pay for that. Oh, no, what's happened? Oh, it's terrible. I mean, not even accounting all the problems that the game's got anyway, with it's a completely horrendous... the real money system in the game, where the microtransactions is just a joke. I mean, you can buy things which disappear when you die, which is funny, because that in itself is not a bad feature if the game was solid, but it's not, because magical invisibility zombie man will come and kill you, and you'll lose all your stuff if you've been stupid enough to buy said stuff. Also, things like when you die, you can't play your character again for an hour. Well, I believe that they've increased that with a recent patch to 4 hours. So you die, you can't play the game for 4 hours unless you spend 50 of their GC, and
which is the best. The best.
I know, GC.
GC.
If anybody plays League of Legends, I'll know what we're talking about. So you spend 50 of that to respawn your character instantly. No. The whole thing is a massive money grab, and it is fucking horrendous on every single level. I'm going to stress it again, Mr. Kirioth. Do not fucking buy War Z. Do not buy it. But one last thing before we go. Obviously, we want to see your comments in the comments below, in the discussion below, which will be highly hilarious, I would imagine, Mr. Kirioth.
Oh, definitely.
If you search for DayZ in Steam, it brings up War Z. Okay. Now, if that's just because of how crap Steam is, and it just picked the letter Z up and decided that, yes, I'll show you this, or this is some sort of bullshit tagging the War Z have used to get their game to show up with that, I guess you could be cynical and say it is, Mr. Kirioth. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm going to be cynical as well. We're out of here, so make sure you follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Follow Kirioth, which is @Kirioth, and subscribe to the channel because you love it. And we'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.